Hey, what's up? So I am not in my normal spot because I am currently in London. So it looks, the lighting is pretty crappy here. But yeah, I got some time before I go to the movies and I want to chat about Kevin Samuels going on to glory to be with the Lord, or maybe, I don't think the Lord. But, let's chat. How is everybody doing? I was supposed to go live yesterday, but I couldn't make it because the people, you know, uh, they didn't have good service. Who got the here for the funeral? Yeah, we're gonna have the funeral here. We're gonna give the eulogy, the obituary. Ah, hey, Serenity. Hey, Marissa. Oh, Paris was amazing. I just got to London today, and Paris, I had such a great time. We stayed there for from the 26th till today. We flew into London today, and the food was good. Um, People were stinky. Like the city has a smell that I didn't like. It was beautiful. The city is quite ornate. Like it's like a very, very ornate city. Like look, I went to Versailles and I felt I wasn't in that time period, and I felt the disgust of how huge Versailles is. You know how when you usually when you go to different like historical locations, your mind usually my mind thinks that it's bigger than what it is, right? So like when you go to like the Statue of Liberty, or you go to like the White House, you're like, oh, in my mind, I think things are bigger than what they usually are. And when I see them, I'm like, oh, this is really small. Like March on Washington, when they did I have a dream speech. When you go to DC, I don't know why I thought that was super big, but it's actually not big at all. Um, and so when I went to Versailles, total opposite. What I thought it was going to be is way smaller than what it was. It was immaculate. That palace, the gardens, the it I know exactly why they cut those people's heads off. I know exactly why they cut those people's heads off because they were doing too much. They were doing too much. So I did go to Versailles and it was huge. Like you got to get through the gardens, you have to get like you can't even get through all of Versailles in like one little trip. It just was crazy. You had to like to get through the garden, you got to get on the cart and they rent carts out. You got to rent a cart to get through. It's this whole canal. It just looks it's huge and just any poor people that could come up to Versailles, they would want to cut their heads off. It was ridiculous. Like I don't believe that Maria Antoinette, she was a child. She was a kid. She was a kid. But I don't, and she didn't say let them eat cake and all that kind of stuff. She didn't really say that. That was kind of like propaganda. But the fact that, but what and this was Versailles. She had her own little grand house. It just was ridiculously over elaborate. Gold everywhere. It just was ridiculous. But it was beautiful. um, but I have pictures and I'm gonna kind of do and I went to one of the first vineyards and I post videos and stuff on Instagram. So if you follow me on Instagram, you can see in my reels, I put a lot of the pictures and some of the videos that I've been taking just to give like a sneak peek, and then I'm gonna kind of post them when I really sit down and think about the storytelling that I want to tell. I did go on a Black Paris tour. hosted by this black lady named Ricky Thomas. And they talk so much about the Dumas family and their legacy in Paris. And yeah, I just learned so much, and I can't wait to talk about him, his father, and his grandfather, because that is such an amazing story and how they impacted Paris. And there's so much Black history in Paris that is like in plain sight. A lot of stolen stuff, and it just was amazing. So Paris was amazing. Thank you for asking. Who else done came up in? Hey, everybody. Um, I'm gonna do a Black London tour this week so I can see what's going on with London. I got a meeting with the Decium. The It's a brand here. I got a meeting with them for some stuff that I'm working on. Hey, money. I'm not currently in Paris. I just left there this morning. I am in London. My grandfather came from France to um, Louisiana in the late 1800s. Yes, they explained so much. It was great. Um, yeah, it was great. So, all right, y'all, let's talk about Kevin. So, of course, if you're an internet person, I know some people are not internet people, and y'all don't really know, unless you're an internet person, there are certain personalities that are famous on the internet, like famous on social media, where, a person who doesn't really engage with social media that well, they may not know the impact of these people and may not know them. I feel like I'm one of them people. I feel like I'm one of them people that I'm not popular enough to kind of um, go somewhere and somebody's like, "Oh my God, Diamond Styles." I don't really have that kind of life. But if you've been around the internet and you are a LGBT person, more than likely you kind of know me or have seen me around or that kind of thing. Um, but there are some people on the internet that that's where their claim to fame can kind of happens, and Kevin Samuel is one of them. We have there's so many. Um, and it's because it's the internet and it goes so many places across the globe. If you have a niche, if you have a niche personality or niche topic, it's easy to get popular within that niche. And one thing that can be really, really popular is massage noir. Massage noir, which is a specific brand of misogynies that it affects Black women. That's different than regular misogyny, a term coined by Moya Bailey. Um, in the same way, there is a niche for Black conservatism, like Candace Owens has the corner on that market currently. She is a internet personality, be doing TV shows and interviews and blah 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 blah. But that can, if you shuck and jiving for the white people, that niche can become popular. And you're this token Black person that can say, oh, I'm a conservative, I support Trump, and blah, 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 blah. And because you are this out of the norm entity, particularly a Black one, they will parade you out. Look, all the Black people don't support um, Hillary or Biden or whatever, or progressiveness. We have Black people on our side too, one or two. And so they would parade them out like a show pony and a show coon, and do a little dance, little monkey dance, um, for massa. And so that's a niche. But another niche that's really, really popular is, talking mess and really degrading Black women. That is, it's a couple of niches that's really, really popular on the internet. And this is just off the cuff, y'all. So I usually have my notes ready when I have discussions, but because I've been traveling, I haven't really been planning. So just bear with me. Um, there's a couple of niches that you would notice, particularly Black men kind of feel when it comes to Black women in making themselves popular on the internet. One of those niches is pretending to be a Black woman for comedic purposes. We have think about all the people who all the internet comedians. Most of the ones that are popular that you know, they have a character that they play. Most of them, if they're a comedian, they have a character that they play, or they have done it. um, where they dress up as a girl and they do these caricatures of the Black girl attitude, feisty, you know, the stereotypical ghetto, loud, da 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 da, whatever stereotypes that are a Black girl, they will have a character that represents that. And this is not just straight men, this is gay men. Gay men have it. We have like TT, we have TC, I can't remember his name, but y'all know what I'm talking about. The internet comedians who dress up like girls as a character and they make videos that people gravitate to. Not just men, but women, da da da. Tyler Perry is one. Now, of course, we have celebrities that do it. It's some that's been going on for years, and that's not exclusive to Black men, but there is a particular vitriol and a particular um, sapphire trope. Now we know that along with the many tropes that kind of Black women that we have, there's Mammy. That's a pretty popular one. Mammy is you know, the jovial, fat, homely, asexual, always happy, nurturing, motherly. We know that. But there's also another one that's Sapphire. That is not the Jezebel. We know the Jezebel. That's the over sexualized, big booty, sexy. Speaking of Paris, the uh, um, um, Josephine Baker kind of played into that trope and became a millionaire off of that kind of idea. Um, I'll talk about her later because we learned so much about Josephine Baker. Did y'all know that she was married and divorced by the time she was 14? Didn't know that. But anyway, we got so much tea. But anyway, so there's the Jezebel trope, there's a Mammy trope, but there also is a Sapphire trope. Sapphire is it comes from it comes from the time of Amos and Andy and that kind of era where Sapphire is uh, uh, how do I describe Sapphire? She is feisty. She is domineering. She is um, emasculating. She's a bitch. She's somebody who talks down on men, make men look stupid. Um, Sapphire is that kind of feisty, overbearing woman, and that trope kind of comes out in a lot of times in these men's comedy. Makes us seem like it goes along with that. The Black dudes who date Black women, when their white girlfriends get them on camera and ask them, "Why do you prefer white girls over Black girls?" And they coon ass is like, "Oh, it's just that Black girls just always got an attitude. They're so feisty. They're not submissive enough." And when I was in high school, I was a nerd and into anime and all these things, and Black girls just didn't like me. And I just grew up around nothing This is how I'm imagining them sounding. And, I grew up around, nothing but white girls, and that's all. And I just like them. I don't know, but black girls just always got an attitude, bro. And, you know, I had to when I was getting my piercings, they used to say things like, I want to be white. And, they used to, they don't like me and call me all kinds of Oreos, bro. And, uh, y'all know the kind. They got attitude. So they are perpetuating these kind of stereotypes about black women. And those dudes are crazy to me because what's funny is you were a nerd, and the issue is you were a nerd, and being a nerd is okay. Being a nerd, yes, it can cause you to be an outcast, but there was other black girl nerds in that same high school. I bet you that you were ignoring because you wanted to be with the light skinned mixed popular girl. You didn't want the regular black girl that was a nerd, maybe into something, into the thing. You want the popular girls that all the jocks liked. You wanted those girls. Those the ones that you wanted to pay attention to you. But you were ignoring the black girl that was the nerd, that maybe would be maybe dark skinned. She wasn't in the social bracket that you wanted. So you really ignored her. But you still mad and butthurt that the popular mixed girl that dated all the jocks and the cheerleaders was ignoring you because you were into some weird shit that wasn't mainstream or the popular shit. And you still butthurt and mad. So you fetishize white women because they're more docile. They can be more docile. You know why white women can be more docile? Because their men are in power, and their culture takes care of them. They ain't gotta fight for everything that they have to get in life. They ain't gotta fight you and the white man and the white woman. They ain't gotta fight. They ain't gotta fight for shit. They can sit back and chill. So of course, when you gotta fight for everything and fight everybody around you, there's gonna be a toughness about you, and there's gonna be a level of not letting shit slide. There's gonna be a level, and not saying that this is typical of black women, but you're gonna find a lot of black women who have a bite to them because, child, we have to, or people will run over us, just like they run over those white girls. Let's see, social credit score too low. They accuse Kevin of being gay, and they say that he was surprised he died. It can cost us our lives. Yes, it can cost us our lives if we're not feisty, if we are not tough. I am enjoying my trip. Thank you for having me. And so, there are these stereotypes that they kind of go along with. And, and this is not saying that what I'm explaining to you is because of the nature of how the world is with us, we are going to be tough. Black women are going to be tough. And it's not saying that all black women are tough because we're not a monolith, but there is a certain level of how we raise our girls, how we raise our children, that you have to be tough because people will try to play you. Unless you're a white Karen who just loves fighting and starting with anyone for any one reason. Not very, very submissive. Yeah, but this is the beauty of we know that other cultures of women, Asian, because I know they love the stereotype of Asians being submissive. Da, 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 da. I know some feisty ass Asians. You know who are feisty ass Asians? Jeezy's wife. Jeannie Mae, her Mama Mai, feisty as hell. I love her. I know a couple of feisty ass Asians. Um, every no culture is a monolith, and there are going to be temperaments across all of them. Some people are more, shy and and you know that kind of docile human being, and some people are going to be more feisty. And this is in all races. I know some feisty ass white women, um, like um, Ann Richards. There's a couple of feisty, and you know who else is feisty? You know who else was feisty? Those Ku Klux Klan women that was sewing and commissioning those statues that we've been tearing down. It was the white Klan women who was feisty and wanted to put those statues up. It wasn't the men. They wanted to, of course, but it was the women who commissioned those things for it to happen. They're feisty as hell. You know who else was feisty? White women slave owners. They was feisty as hell. There's a great book. There's a great book called, let me pull it up. A great book called They Were Her Property that really covers by Stephanie E. Jones Rogers. They Were Her Property. It's on Audible. You can listen to it if you want to. I need to get an Audible code. Anyway, I don't have it. I'm not affiliated with them, but I like y'all to be well read. Um, they were her property. And it talks about how white women, and I know this is supposed to be about Kevin Samuels, but I'm giving Kevin Samuels, but we'll get to that, the messy stuff. But just a little background, a little context. Um, what will happen? So men, so patriarchy and how men works. Um, Men back in the day, men are the ones who could own property. Those are the ones who could own it, who could run it, who were it was socially acceptable for them to have businesses, do business, and sell things and trade things and all these things. This was a man's world. Women are supposed to be home, taking care of the children, being docile. But what will happen when men think about if you are you're a man and you build this empire, you build this business, and you're growing it, growing it, growing it, and you're getting older. But you, as a man, and your wife only have girls. You don't have any boys to pass your money on, your wealth and estate and all that kind of stuff to. What you gonna do? What you're gonna do is you're gonna teach your daughters your business. You're gonna teach them the law. You're gonna write contracts so that can protect them. Because there was a time during the slavery time where men would try to come and marry women based on. We love to give women the 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 stereotype of gold digging, but it was men too who was out here looking for come ups, looking for women of wealth and women of means to come up. They marry them. We see that now. We just don't talk about it. We see that now, but they would try to find these women who were unmarried, who were going to inherit their husband's wealth, and because it was a patriarchal world, they could easily swoop in and take the woman's wealth as their husband. But what these white fathers would do who had daughters, because they knew the law, they would write, they would set up their will and their estates to a way to in a way legally that would protect their daughters from that type of sham from happening. And they would teach them. They'll come in and try to do this. They'll come in and try to do that. So these women would have so much business savvy from their fathers or from their own experience, like say that their father dies and they just inherit the money and they learn how to do it. All these things it will put these white women in positions to where they are against men, but also against slaves. Or they would marry. It would Please read the book. They would marry men who want to be bad, all slave ownership is bad, but say that they're the type that wants to beat up the slaves, but the woman owns the slaves and you're just my husband, she can say, yo, you can't beat my slaves. I don't beat my in this plantation, we don't beat and hang and do all that kind of stuff. We treat our slaves nice here. If she's that type of nice white woman. She could actually say that because she owns the slaves. They're hers. You just married me. And so, but they're not yours. And my father has set it up for you can't even own my slaves if we break up. And I get to make the rules. And there's all these court documents that share these kind of cases. The name of the book is They Were Her Property. And they would share these they she shares all these court cases where these white women was feisty as hell, going up against men in the legal system, going up against being hustlers and um, winning. They Were Her Property, yes, um, by Stephanie E. Jones Rogers, hyphenated Jones Rogers. Um, and so anyway, so people, all of us, all of our demographics, racially, um, culturally, there are women who are feisty. There are women who are docile. Temperament and how you are behavior wise is all based on environment and your own um, biopsychological makeup that makes up your temperament. It's a combination of nature and nurture, and all of us are different. And so our environment leads us, I think, as Black women, our environment leads us to not have the luxury of not being feisty. If you notice, most of the women who are more docile, this is in my experience. I don't want to say if you noticed it, but in my experience, most of the women who grow up and keep that docile nature and keep that docile personality that that they want to be ingrained with is girls who are protected in a sense of their family has the means to protect them from that kind of thing. So if they are a middle class family who can keep them in the church and keep them covered and keep them in that mindset, think Clark sisters. um, if you have somebody who is of means that can she does she's protected in that sense of home life. But you can't have some poor family that can't protect it. When we think about um um Viola Davis' new book, her family didn't have the means to protect her from all the things that she was coming up against. That book is amazing, by the way. Read that. First it just came out a couple of weeks ago. Um, Her family didn't have the means to protect her in that way. And so when you don't have the means, your daughters and sons, but we center women on this channel. If you want to center men, you create your own channel. We talk about men sometimes, but in that context. But yes, men too, but girls particularly, if you don't have those means for that kind of protection, then you're exposed to people molesting you, people doing things to you, people beating you, just doing all these kind of things to you. And so most women who I see keep that docileness throughout until they're an adult, usually is because their parents had the means to protect them from that financial, socioeconomic means. So, Kevin. So Kevin Samuels has created a career of playing on the niche of misogynoir. Let me talk about Black women. Let me talk about their weight. Let me talk about their attitudes. Let me talk about all of the negative stereotypes that they are. Brand them all the same, and and you know disrespect them on camera, belittle them, Let me do this in a way that's gonna attract the incel men that's gonna say, "Yeah, yeah, tell these women the truth." And I love how people love to me and, Brianna was talking about this. I love how people try to act like he's doing something new. Or they was like, "Y'all just not used to men telling the truth. These are the conversations that men have at the barber shop. This is what's being said behind closed doors." Sweetie, let me tell you something. And it's hard for y'all to see because y'all are not women. There is not one day that goes by that we don't hear the opinions, the negative opinions of men. Because y'all are socially in power when it comes to gender in the same way that white people are in power when it comes to whiteness, men's narratives and their history and their opinions and their negative thoughts about women, we cannot avoid them. We can't avoid them. You think that you're having these secret conversations at the barbershop and in the locker room. Y'all don't, yeah, but y'all also are arrogant and think that they think that y'all are smart. Y'all also think that, like, we don't know oppression and we don't know, we're not smart enough to understand your simple-minded mindset about things. Like, we don't have to navigate it. In the same way, Black people know how to pick up on when white people are being shady and white people are being racist, even in the most subtle ways, we can pick up on misogyny too. Women can pick up on, and even femmes. I don't even want to just say women, femmes, femme people can pick up on misogyny and that kind of anti-fem mindset really, really easily. And you don't have to say too much. Your little talks about women, about their bodies, you not liking fat girls, you think that's a secret? You think fat phobia is a secret? There's a whole movement of body positivity to fight against that. And you think we don't know men talk shit about fat girls? While at the same time sleeping with them? Y'all will talk shit to your homeboys about fat girls, but sleep with fat girls still. You don't think that we know that you talk shit about fat girls, but come and sneak and sleep with fat girls? Ask any fat girl have she had a dude that's just like that, especially as in her young years. I'm pretty sure she'll tell you she's experienced that. A dude that don't mind sleeping with her, but don't want people to know that he's dealing with the fat girl. That's one of the parallels between trans women and fat girls. The fat experience and the trans experience, I'm sorry. The parallels between those 2. You think we don't know that? You think we don't know that you prefer light-skinned girls over dark-skinned girls? You think that that's a secret? You think that because you tell your homeboys that shit, that we don't hear it from the niggas when we, when a dark-skinned girl is coming out of the club and you say something disrespectful about her skin? You don't think we hear it? You don't think that, we notice it? Like, you don't think we notice colorism and the difference in how dark-skinned girls are treated and light-skinned girls are treated? You don't you don't think we hear that? How could you think that we don't hear the opinions of men, Black women and white women? You don't think we hear what you say, how you compare us to Asian women, how you compare us to Latinx women, how you compare us to white women? Those bitches don't give us a chance to not hear it. That's why they know that it's the non-black girls, they know that it's a niche to be able to record you coons saying something negative about black women and praising them and uplifting them on a pedestal. We can't run away from the opinions of men. So this truth that people think that Kevin Samuels was telling, you're not saying anything. He wasn't saying anything new that we didn't know about men. The idea, I think one of his ideas of misogynistic ideas is if you, I think recently he was talking about if you're single and over 35, you're leftovers. You think that women don't know that they're in when it comes to the social capita of the world in culture, you think women don't know that there is a time clock? You think women don't know that as they get older, they will be less desirable to men? You think women don't know that? You think these women going to get their face snatched and eyes pulled back and lifted and um Botox and you think that's because they don't know that aging is negative specifically for women? And it's exacerbated in when you're in the woman gender. A man can get old and be Burt Reynolds and George Clooney and da 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 da. He can do all of that. But women, we know that there's if we if we care about men, that's the thing about it. Most of us, when we get to a certain age, we stop caring about y'all because we know that chasing that carrot leads us nowhere. But we know that you hear Betty Davis talked about it, the white actress, legendary actress Betty Davis talked about it. Um, there's tons of people who have wrote books about aging. Diane Carroll talked about it. She has a great book called Everything um, Everything Goes But Your Legs. I need to read that book as well. It is called Legs Are the Last to Go. Sorry. Legs Are the Last to Go by Diane, a memoir by Diane Carey. Watch that. Um, the thing with Kevin Central is that his delivery was wrong many times, which minimizes his message. Um, mm, I don't think his delivery. I think his delivery was intentional. I just don't think he. I don't think he's an intelligent person. And that's another thing, y'all. There are some people who they talk well, but they're not intelligent. Being articulate, I know the white people will give you to believe, especially, the microaggression they give you. Oh my God, you're so articulate. I know people would like to like would like you to believe that being articulate equals intelligence. It does not. There are some people who can talk well because they were raised, to speak well, raised by a teacher, raised in a church, da 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 da. They can talk well, but they're stupid. And yeah, that's just what it is. Um, there's just a thing about men that they think that when they tell you, oh, men don't like it when you're too big. We're just telling the truth. Do you think fat people don't know that people like to lie and say they hate fat girls? I just have to reiterate that. Like anybody who doesn't fit the Eurocentric beauty standards know that they don't fit. Like you as a trans woman, I know that I don't fit into the standard. Are there people that like me? Absolutely. But I know I'm not the standard. As a fit girl, I know I'm not the standard. Um, there are some that with things about you that is privilege. I'm a light skinned girl. I cannot be I cannot engage with a man without him reminding me that I'm a light skinned girl through compliments, through um, just positive engagement around my skin. And it's the same way with things that about your body too. About negative things well, not necessarily inherently negative thing, but people that they deem as a bad, whatever, desirability traits. We know it. Y'all are not telling us the truth. We know what y'all think, but what y'all think is not the standard that we have to live by. I think that's what men who and people like Kevin Samuels, I don't think that's what men understand. And I know I'm speaking in the sense in the context of like cishet men and da 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 da. But gay men, y'all that listen to me, y'all know y'all have these same kind of issues. Y'all know y'all have these same kind of issues around colorism, about size, about fat phobia, about class. Y'all have these same kind of issues. They translate just because, especially when it comes to each other, but also when it comes to women that you deem respectable. And that's this is a whole other conversation. But there are certain gay men who respect women more when they are in their mind more sickening and more B, even though they don't want to fuck them, just because you fit the standard of respectability politics, just because you fit the standard of a certain type of beauty, they will treat you better based on that standard. That also is misogynies. I know it's hard for gay men to grasp that they are in that misogynistic boat, but if you are respecting women and we're not, even if you're not trying to sleep with them and you're not being creepy to them on a sexual way, if you are being nicer, um if you are deeming them more respectable based on their looks and deeming somebody else less respectable because they don't fit your beauty standards, that's misogyny, baby. Just a bit, just so that's clear. I wanted to bring that up. But this is a niche that somebody is gonna feel. Think about in a let's make a prediction. In about the opposite niche is is um is true too. I think there's a niche of men who like to who preach about feminist ideals and they become popular among women in that regards too. And they monetize it and do these things to get in circles, but still maneuver like men and be being creeps. There's a book called Mediocre by Ejima Olu. It is called title details. It is called Mediocre: The Dangerous Legacy of White Male America. And there's a chapter about feminism, but white men pretending to be feminists, and then when it doesn't get them any pussy, they flip back to being a misogynist. It's really, really good. Check that out. Um, yeah, Jasper, it's something that you got to work on. A lot of gay men think because they don't want to sleep with women that they don't have these kind of traits, that they don't have these kind of things that they have to work on when it comes to misogyny. But you do. Mm. But there's a niche for massage noir. There's a niche for men to talk crazy. I think the person who was before Kevin Samuels kind of got popular was Tony Sotomayor. Um, Tony Sotomayor was one. Who is some of those kind of talking down on black women um, dudes? Tariq Nasheed, Boyce Watkins. Tommy was very vile. Yes, they have. There's always this niche to talk down on black women, um, and that is what Kevin did. So he died. He got up out of here, and people are there's As to be expected, the internet, when you say vile things, when you say vile things about a group of people, it's like if Dave Chappelle died. Do you think the trans people is gonna be like, "Oh, a man died. We're, we gotta respect his his humanness. You know, let's not say anything about how he lived, how he talked crazy about us. Let's respect his humanness." No, we're not gonna do that, baby. We're not gonna do that. I bet that when Hitler got wore out, they weren't talking crazy, they weren't respecting Hitler. We don't respect people who are trash. We never do. And it's funny how y'all expect somebody who didn't respect us in life. Y'all want us to respect them when they pass? Get out of here. We're gonna have the same sensitivity about his death as he had with us. And the people were like, "You gotta be a terrible person to celebrate somebody's death." It's really not celebrating somebody's death. It is, well, it can be, but it's really just we don't care. We don't care enough about this person to um, be sensitive in that way. We care enough about this person to read him. We care enough to make jokes about it. We care enough, like he did. He didn't care about the real life implications. He didn't care about how his rhetoric translated into harm in real life for Black women. Does not speaking ill of the dead like perpetuate generational trauma? I don't know. I doubt it. I don't think so. Who's being traumatized? A unalived person? Who was the trauma? Who was being traumatized? Him? His trauma was his heart attack. Tell me why he passed single, living in an apartment, holding up with a random girl he met the night before, messy. And I think that's the most telling of how gullible men are in regards to who they prop up as, oh my God, the truth teller. Like he's a relationship guru and he's two times divorced, single and two times divorced, and over 35. So everything other than being fat. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me. Is that this is the person that y'all propped up? The person, how he gonna be a relationship guru and he couldn't keep his two relationships together? I just don't understand. And the girl that he, I don't I don't want to talk about what was happening if like it was a hookup because the way they described it to me wasn't like everybody making it seem like it was on some color purple shit, like Sealy Daddy, like he died on top of her. But the way it was described, it was like um, they were like in a hallway or something, like they were walking around. If we wouldn't, if we wouldn't sanctify the harmful people in our families when they die, maybe we would be open to listening to those that were harmed and attempt to resolve the pain. Yeah, no. And old child support. Word. I didn't even know he had some kids. So you're not even taking care of your so you're not even taking care of your children. You got 2 divorces. This is the relationship guru. Okay, I see why he's a relationship guru. Because he does all the things that y'all want to do. Y'all want to skirt tail the responsibility of your kids. Y'all want a certain type of woman. This is anyway. What also is crazy as fuck to me is that the people that are mad at us, like look on the internet, the people, the men, let me be specific, the men that are mad at like gold diggers and people wanting more out of men, wanting them to be financially stable, da da da. They have a problem with these rich men problems, but they don't make money. How you gonna be mad at gold diggers and you don't got or protecting yourself from gold diggers when you don't got gold? You are not the high value men that need protection, that has the choice to be with all the women they want to be with. And you gotta be, if you fat and over 35, you gonna be need to be prepared to share your man. Most of the men who are on his nuts and dick riding him, they don't make the money that he's talking about. They are not the high value men that he is talking about. Like y'all, who's the dude? The one that wife got a lot of his money. Um, it was it Elon Musk? I can't remember. Anytime a rich dude gets money or like and their wife gets money, da 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 da. The broke niggas is like, see, this is what they do. You will never have to worry about that because you probably are going to be broke for the rest of your life. Most men, people, not just most men, most people don't go from poor to rich. That is actually abnormal. You know, the likeliness statistically, most people who are born poor stay poor. Most people who are born middle class stay middle class. Most people who are born rich stay rich. Now, there are some people who luckily go back. Some people go down and some people go up. It just depends, but it's really, really rare for you to move outside of your class bracket. That's statistics. The numbers don't lie. So more than likely, if you came from being a working class person, you're gonna be a working class person. And you are never gonna have to worry about prenups. You are never gonna have to worry about protecting your house and your assets and your wealth. You are never gonna have to worry about that. More than likely, you're gonna get a woman who has to help you pay bills. And that's another thing. Black women since slavery has had to work and help pay bills. When black men was doing the sharecropping, black women was taking care of these white people kids and cleaning their houses. It was always work. The white women who came up out of the 60s and had a feminist moment, oh, I'm tired of this leave it to beaver lifestyle. I'm tired of this staying in the home and not having any job opportunities outside of being a secretary or a homemaker. Oh, those women, they were coming into their feminist enlightenment way later than black women who didn't have the luxury of society saying, "Oh, we want to we want to take care of you." Like the structure of society took care of white women. We didn't have that luxury, baby. Which y'all on here talking about. But we should live by everything because he is just speaking facts. No, he is not speaking. But that's another thing. He was also not speaking facts. There's a whole conversation that this man had about There being a beauty standard, and while there is a beauty standard, but it is fake, it is false science. And he is propping up white supremacist beauty ideals. Like this is what white people have been doing for since forever. When that dude was measuring skulls and saying that the Georgiana skull from the Georgia region is the most beautiful skull. Like, look, they've been doing this false science stuff and he was propping it up. And this is what he says is not based in fact. Come on. Understand. Understand that this is not a real science that he's talking to. He was back in the same time that they called us apes. Exactly. It's the same exact thing. And so he wasn't spitting facts. He was spitting facts to you because not you, but men who believe in those ideals, he was spitting facts to you because you have bought into the ideal that being fat is negative, being dark skinned is negative, being trans is negative, being black woman is negative, being all these things come are negative. You have bought into that ideal because you are a coon, because you are somebody who wants to be a white man. You don't know it, but you want all the freedoms that white men have. You want it to be a black supremacy, but you don't want to dismantle the patriarchy. You want to dismantle the racism stuff, the white supremacy. You don't want to dismantle the gender stuff. You want to have the same position as the white man, but you just want it to be in blackface. And so, women, you stay where you are. Stay subservient. Stay cleaning the house. Stay feminine. They make these statements like cooking, cleaning, slaving, being a slave is feminine. Being docile and homely is feminine. When actually taking care of a household, a shelter where you live, taking care of fixing food, cooking, these are adult standards. They should be all adults should be able to do these things. All adults. Even animals know how to make a home and get the food. All of them. So you should know how to clean up. You should know how to wash your tail. You should know how to clean your clothes. You should know to cook your food. Just as an adult, this taking care of yourself should be considered feminine. I don't know. I think taking care of yourself should be considered being a woman. I mean, being a human. It should be considered being a human. You should be able to take care of yourself. Period. Simple. Yeah, it's life skills. Simple. Period. That not should not be a woman's duty. Children, taking care of children. I think as a man, you should know how to take care of children. They're your kids. You made them. Should you be breastfeeding them? No, because you don't have titties to breastfeed them. Mama got that. But should you know how to change diapers? Should you know how to make bottles? Should you know how to take them to the doctor and set up their appointments? All the things that women complain, like, oh my God, I got to do all the work when it comes to this house. And all you got to do is pay bills. Get out of here. You should be able to do all of those things. Cleaning and feeding yourself is literally the most basic life skills. If you are starving and filthy, you will literally die, all genders aside. Come on, Emily. Exactly. How do you feel about trans amorous men with platforms supporting um, Kevin Samuel? I think trans amorous men are still men, and there are going to be overlaps. There are going to be some men who we know that there are going to be men who have these same ideals when it comes to um, all the negative that Kevin Samuels talked that we have to live up to their standards. Do you see what I'm saying? So every time, particularly that podcast, that platform, they're gonna have those same vibes. They're gonna be standards, and but also the difference, they're gonna hold us to those same womanly standards that women are held to. But the difference is that when we fail the womanly standard, they blame it on our maleness. When I hope you're enjoying gay period. I am not in Paris right now. I just left Paris this morning. I'm in London. Um, um, what platforms are these? It's a couple of. I don't want to give them any kind of shout out. I don't really, you know, I don't really like to do that, but other people can do that. But they're men, and they're gonna do that. But I feel like transphobia comes into play. All of us women are gonna be affected by misogyny. But what happens is when we fail at those standards of womanhood, when we fail, they blame it on, oh, that's because you was born a male. Oh, you can't cook? That's because you were born a male. Men just don't naturally know how to cook. Oh, you don't know how to keep a clean house? That's because you were born a boy. Whatever it is that we fail at, they're gonna blame it on the fact that you were born a male. Oh, Um, you so aggressive. Like they do something shady and you go off on them, that any woman will go off on them. It will go off on me. You cheat on me and I go off on you and you call me aggressive. Why are you trying to fight me because I cheated on you? That's so manly. Women don't do that. Any trans woman in here that's been in a relationship, I'm pretty sure y'all have experienced this. Um, um, where if some dude do something and you buck up at him, like nigga, you don't fucking play with me or whatever. That aggression, even though I've seen my mama do it, I've seen my grandma do it, I've seen white women do it, I've seen Latina women do it. If you do something and they pop you, if we do it as trans women, it is said to be because we are men, because we are. I, I remember my mama, my not my mama, my aunt Joe. Honey, she found her boyfriend cheating. She went and kicked the door down, beat up the girl, was fighting him, and da 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 da. Da. But if I did that, it would be me being manly. It would that's your man side coming out. Even though every woman I know have been in that experience where they were twirling over a dude on some Monica ish. Yes, all of that. But that's another thing that we have in common with cisgender black women because that's another thing that kind of they will use that to masculinize them, even though they live for munching bird. Oh, I don't know. Do you know how to cook, Diamond? I do know how to cook. I had a chat with my brother, and if he would date a trans woman, he went straight to that bullshit saying trans women think like men, that not that you have to be trans, Amos, but go. go to that. Mm. Um, I don't know. I think that trans amorous men are navigating dismantling those kind of ideals when it comes to um, patriarchy. When it comes to patriarchy, and some are further along than others. What I'm always amazed is when I think because Kevin Samuel has died, they're talking to his mother, and I was like, God, think about Kevin Samuel's mother. Like, what? How do you raise this type of dude? Like, what kind of woman are you that leads to this level of misogyny? Well, they've been talking to his mother. Marlon Wayans thought he ate in that tribute post. I didn't see the tribute post. I didn't see that. I just been kind of I've been because I've been kind of trying to not be bothered. I have I have been what did Marlon do? I would love to hear his mama's thoughts. Yeah, I would love to hear his mom's thoughts on stuff that he says. Oh, he speaks the truth. Yeah, I'm trying to see what truth that he speaks. I really just want to know the truth. I really what's is anybody Kevin Samuel fans? Can y'all tell me what's the truth that he tells people that is not known? I want to know like what truth that's rooted in facts and what truth is he telling that is not known? I'm really not understanding. And I've sat down and everybody one thing I've been hating is the dudes be like, y'all just be going off one clip. I go and listen. When before I judge somebody, I go and listen. And the clips, the context of the clips that people be posting of Kevin Samuels, it be the same context in the long form version. Y'all act like all of us like it was spliced and made to sound different, like made him to say something new. No, the context was still the same. They just be showing clips. You gotta hear the whole thing. No, we know what fat phobia is. We don't need to hear the whole concept to understand that he's being fat phobic, anti-black, lying. What made him different from typical dude with the podcast? Nothing. You know what made him different? The stupid women that will call and let him get a sound bite in a clip of him disrespecting them. That's what made him different. He recorded women coming on his show and him disrespecting them. It is like it's the sensationalism. It's the what is the word? What's that long ass German word that has German? I think it has German roots. That's about liking the joy of seeing somebody, the joy of seeing some negative or seeing somebody hurt. Schickmanfrada. What's that? Y'all know that word? Yes, cultural love. Yes. Yes. This is how you say it.
Schadenfreude.
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 Schadenfreude. The word Schadenfreude is the pleasure derived from someone other's person's misfortune. I think that there is a level of that when what made him popular is these men who want to see women demeaned and talk crazy to. They loved those clips. They loved seeing him hang up on women that was talking back. "Oh, you don't do that on my show. Click you off. No, you don't do that here." If you remember early in his um early in his career, um that's how he got popular. Those clips of him calling women fat and saying, "What's your dress size?" and making a little sly little look if her dress size is too big. Those clips is what got him popular. That is what's made him different. Is he knew how to market, how to create those little clips and put them out there because he knew those men were going to share it. The women were going to be like, "What? You're disrespecting her. And I can't believe he did that. This is fat phobic. And this is da, da." He knows that this is good. This is the battle. This is the monetization of the constant struggle between men and women and fat phobia and colorism and particularly black men and black women. He knows that this is gonna get the clicks, this is gonna get the views. This is it's the soundbite. Yes, it's the soundbite. And so that's what got him popular, and that's what made him different than the other. Think about that dude who and I think they do that. The Charlemagne the God. When we think about that dude that said, "Oh, my girl," that podcaster that said, "My girl, if she has an Instagram, I think that's cheating." I think some saying ridiculous stuff. The cult of personalities. I just want to know why those women keep calling in. I think once a person gets a platform, somebody may want to be on the platform just to have a moment, just to have everybody, I won't say everybody, but there's a lot of people, particularly online, who are looking for their little 5, 15 minutes of fame. And so even if it's to come on his show and they get a chance to talk crazy, maybe that maybe that moment will become viral and they get popular. Um Like even what's her name? Amanda Seals. That moment with her, Amanda Seals, and that moment with Amanda Seals and Caitlyn Jenner. I mean, of course she would have been on Insecure, but one of the first times we see her is the reading moment that she had with Caitlyn Jenner. And everybody who wanted to be transphobic, everybody who wanted to um, talk shit to this white trans woman because of transphobia and because white men ain't shit. Caitlyn is gonna have that the people who want to talk shit about white people and about privileged white people and who want to talk shit about trans people. Oh, this is a powder keg waiting to happen. So you have this black woman who reads the one of the most famous trans women, white privileged trans women. And so, of course, she's going to go viral when she gives her the business, rightfully so. And she did. She should have, and said exactly what we wanted to say to her. But what we don't always admit is that that grasping that behind that vitriol is transphobia. And you get what I'm saying? We know that this gives y'all the chance to call Caitlyn Bruce. This gives y'all the chance to, um, do those nasty things that you want to do to trans people, and be okay, and people be okay with it because we hate Caitlyn Jenner so much, even trans people. Low self-esteem. I don't always think it's low self-esteem. I think sometimes, and you can kind of tell it based on their conversation. But sometimes people just want their little claim to fame, or they want to explain to men. But sometimes you can't explain to these niggas. Sometimes they are willfully ignorant. They want to be ignorant. They want to be. They don't want to know your position. They want you to get in line. They want you to be submissive. They want you to be feminine. They want you to get in line with how they want you to be. They don't care, or they already know your position. Bullies often are very happy, confident people. A lot of times, yeah, definitely. Unfortunately, hatred can generate more attention than love online. You know what? I think that there's a natural I want to say natural. I don't know. Um so when something good happens or something happens as you feel like it's supposed to happen, it's easy to be like, "Oh, that was wonderful," and go on. or or just if it's working, if this mic does what it's supposed to do, there's no reaction that I need to give except for, hey, I'm going to talk into the mic because it's working. But if this mic stopped working, it stops me from speaking to y'all. So I'm going to have a big problem with the mic not doing what it's supposed to do. And I'm going to call and I'm going to make it's like if I go to a bathroom, if it's clean, when you go to a clean bathroom, do you call the establishment and say, "Oh, um, y'all bathroom was so clean." No, it's supposed to be clean. Y'all supposed to keep it clean. But if it's nasty, you're gonna go to the people and say, "Oh my God, that bathroom is filthy in there. Why y'all not cleaning your bathroom?" Sometimes it's just a natural reaction when something is not right for you to. I want to say I don't think the word is natural that I want to use, but it's gonna seem like your response is more prevalent when it's come to negativity than with something that's positive because this is how it's supposed to be. if it's like getting a good fast food order. It's like, yeah, of course. Do I call in every time I get you get my Big Mac right or my Whopper right? Probably not. But if you get my order wrong, I'm gonna call in. I think people respond to negative because got to. I keep telling women that men have no sympathy for their problems. They don't. Because like white people, they don't want to give up power. Like it to give up power, that's a difficult thing. I'm trying to find but this dude said, oh, I was scrolling Facebook or Twitter, I can't remember, I think it was Facebook. And this dude said, women submit to men they respect. if you haven't done anything for a woman to make her respect you, you can't expect her to make her respect you. You can't expect her to submit to you, bruh. You haven't played your part and played your role to earn that respect from her. Now, listen to what I said. This is a man telling men that women submit to men they respect. You got to do your job as a man for them to respect you, and then they will submit to you. Slow minded people can hear that and say, yeah, he's telling the truth. Yeah, you got to do what's right to earn respect. But that statement is ridiculous. It's also patriarchal. It's also misogynistic. Your behavior should not be rooted in dominance and submission. That is for fucking animals or fucking um, white colonizers. That is for people. Dominance and submission is for animals and people who want to colonize places. That is a toxic way to be in the world. Your behavior should not be rooted in dominance, the binary of dominance and submission. It should not be rooted in that. Me as a person, a human being, my actions is rooted in my behavior is rooted in care and love, and I want to receive it and I want to give it. I don't need to be dominant over a man, and I don't need a man to be dominant over me. I want a partner. I want I don't want the whole weak and stronger. I don't like that. I don't in the I need to be the leader and I need to be the head. That is patriarchal. That is colonial. That is fucking crazy. That is stuff that if you what Toni Morris to say, if I have to be on my knees for you to feel tall, then you have a problem. That ain't got nothing to do with me. That has something to do with you. If I can't stand next to you, side by side, and you feel like one, like a being, like worthy, if I have to be submitting and led and quiet and docile for you to feel like a fucking man, something's wrong with your manhood, baby. That's how. I'm sorry. That's how those non-melanated people conquer the world. That's the delusion. I don't know any other way to say it. It's like, sweetie, it's just not how. I just don't want to live in that world where I have to my self-esteem and my position and worth in life um is based on somebody being beneath me, or I don't want somebody being above me. I don't want somebody dominating me. It reminds me of the Baldwin Nikki Giovanni conversation how black men will save their frustration and venom for when they get home to their partners. And that's a toxic dynamic. I think that's a great conversation if people haven't watched that between those two. Um, that's that's the problem with that submissive and dominance because the white man is like in that scenario. I don't want to always bring up that, but because in that scenario, the man who James is talking about, the man he's having all these problems at work and out in the world and he comes home and now he needs somebody to because this man has made him feel belittled and less of a man. He needs somebody to make him feel like, oh, I'm dominated over you, so I'm beating you and punching you and giving you the venom. Do you see what I'm saying? He had this dynamic has created this dynamic over here. It and so as Brianna just said, I don't feel any safe in submission. So, because of that dynamic of how patriarchal white supremacist patriarchy, as Bell Hooks always talks about, this dynamic is unhealthy. And the person who is submitting is vulnerable, who is supposed to be submitting, is vulnerable to the harms. And everybody, and what's happening now, people are not putting themselves in a position to be vulnerable to that harm. They're striving to be the white men of our community. Absolutely. Honestly, it sounds manipulative too. It assumes we won't behave unless men behave a certain way. Right. No. And the flip side of that, and I love to say, I'm bringing up the white man or whatever, but the thing about white men being in the top of the hierarchy is that because they make the rules, they can be a little bit more free because they are at that social place. They can be a little bit more free. That's why they can be a little bit more free about you know um, being cuckolds, being freaks, doing things outside the box. Um, even transitioning, keeping in their wives. Not saying that there are not some exception where a black woman kept her cross-dressing husband, but you see it more often with them because white men are given because of the position of power that they're in, a position of privilege to protect and a financial privilege to protect them from some of the social consequences. They they can be a little bit more free to do and try and not be beholden to these social rules of masculinity that they created to control everybody else. And not them as an individual, but the culture that has been passed down to demean women, the culture that has been passed down to demean black people. Hey, Virulin. Nice to meet you. They used to wear wigs though. Mhm. And heels. Literally started with them. The possessive investment is in whiteness. Mhm. Or exercising the right over body parts. But that's why when we talk about non-binary people, that's why when we talk about queer people, like men, I know I don't have a big cishet male audience, but men, the stuff that women and queer people and black queer people and non-binary people, the stuff that we are dismantling, if you actually pay attention, it is giving you room. It is giving you room to be who you want to be. It's giving y'all. I posted on Twitter and on Facebook this post where the dude said, if you are eating outside with your homeboys instead of eating inside the restaurant, you gay. What are you? Sex in the City. That's what the tweet said. So y'all can't even be out here eating in the sun, eating on a beautiful day without your manhood and your sexuality being policed. Like we are making room for y'all to be able to making room for y'all to be able to be free. And that's not the only ridiculous thing people say. Men, you can't if you bathe too much, you're gay. If you get your ass ate, you gay. Like you can't even enjoy pleasure freely without it being connected to your manhood. Body parts that have tons of feel good nerve endings in your body. You can't even be free to explore openly without your manhood becoming in question. If you got on side of us, alongside of us, and helped us dismantle this kind of bullshit, you would be more free. You are benefiting from the freedom, though. You're trying to hold on to that patriarchy because you have low self esteem and want that kind of power. But men have become way more openly free about certain things, certain sexual acts. They used to lie about jacking off. But now everything is a little bit more free. Your clothing choice, um, y'all getting more, y'all benefiting from the freedoms that we fought for, that queer people fought for, femme, AMAB people, and butch AFAB people. the them butch lesbians and them feminine gay boys. That standard that we broke, that our community kind of sad. And then trans people come in and honey, we let you know that we just flipping this shit all the way around. We have the power to control where our body goes, what we do with our body. Teach you about agency. All right. We got a half hour to talk about whatever y'all want to talk about. But yes, rest in whatever. I don't want to say peace because I don't give a care about Kevin Samuels. I I'm not going to be sensitive to somebody who wasn't sensitive to me. Um, but yeah, peace to peace to people who loved him. Peace to his mother. I know how hard the losing a child can be. So to that. Peace to his mother. But yeah, thumbs up if you enjoyed the conversation. Thumbs up. And yes, this last 30 minutes, per usual, I will be um, I will be taking questions or whatever subject I want to talk about for about 20-30 minutes. Somebody says, how long should you wait for him to introduce you to his people? Um, I would ask, why is he avoiding it? I would hmm. So I'm a different person. I would ask you, why is it important that you be introduced to his people? Excuse me. Why? Damn, I got the hookups. Why is it important for you to be introduced to his people? Why do you need that? I see 52 likes and 47 people watching. So if you're watching, thumbs up. Gigi on you, it says 51 likes here. You may need to refresh. Now 53. Yeah, I see a couple. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I just like it to match, like it to match, and match who's watching with who's liking. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Don't think it's a time limit, but if the situation comes up and he is avoiding that there may be an issue. It feels natural. I want to know the other people he loves. Many couples meet the family in months. Interesting. I don't know. I don't find value in meeting them. It doesn't feel natural to. Oh, I don't say it doesn't feel natural. I don't know. It just depends on his relationship with his people. Like I've met dudes on our first date. If y'all listen to my video, meeting the man of my dreams, I went to his mama's house. In that video, he took me on a date. On the very first time in our date, he took me to his mom's house. So I met his mom on the first date. But to him, there was no value in meeting his mom because it wasn't a big deal to him. Somebody meeting his mom wasn't that serious. Some people, it's super super serious. I want you to meet. They make it a big thing to bring their girl to their mom. To you get what I'm saying? There's some people that is a big step, and so me, I don't care about it. I don't care about it. So if you care about it, I would express that to him. Um, yeah, I don't, and that might be my own insecurities because I don't know. There's a part of me that feels like it could open up doors to problems. I don't know. That's just me. I feel like if the people don't want you as the people, that can open up the door to them sharing their opinions. Where if I'm disconnected from them, child, it's just me and him. But if he's close to his family, then that's different. But most the dudes that I fuck with, they ain't that close to their family, so it's not like sitting talking to their mama on the phone every week. I would feel the different. Like if you telling me you hanging out with your mama all the time when you're not with me, and then you're not bringing me around her, then it would feel weird. But if you don't hang out with your mama and you don't talk to her, like y'all not close, I wouldn't be pressing that issue. Yeah, then that's the issue. Then then what do you do about that? So if you feel like he's not ready to tell his people that you're trans, what do you do about that? Is that important to you? Is it important to you for him to tell his people that you're trans? How important is that to you? For me myself, when somebody hides something, that scares me because what that does, that puts me in a vulnerable position. This goes back to what Brianna said earlier. Submission does not feel safe. If I submit to his fear of not wanting to his parents to know that I'm trans, then what happens is it gives the opportunity for it to be outed. Do you see what I'm saying? When we're not prepared for it. Do you feel what I'm saying? And how is he going to respond when it's outed and he didn't prepare for it? What if somebody at your grandma at his mama's church see him out with you at a restaurant and they clock you, and then they go back and tell his mama your son is dating a trans woman, and then it's out? How is he going to respond to that? Is he going to leave you because he's not ready and he thought he was? But then that's where it gets scary, and it gets like, oh, I can't trust this. This is not secure because what if somebody finds out? At least if he tells it on his own time and it's out there, at least he can control whatever the consequences right then. He can prepare for it. But It's those moments that's kind of scary, that kind of I don't trust them. That's like, ooh, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can, because what happens when somebody finds out? Because that's when the test happens. So it's scary for me. It's a bit important, but do you love him enough to not pressure that? Do you love him enough to not what do you get out of the relationship that's worth holding on to if he says I'm just not going to do that? If he says permanently, I don't want to introduce you to my parents. I want to just continue being with you and we do our thing, but they stay out of my life and we have a whole separate life. Are you willing to do that? And if you are, just do that. Yeah, it just depends. It really, really just depends on what you ready to do. Like my thing is, if he tells you, oh, I don't want to introduce you to my mom. I mean, what do? You say, oh, well, I'm gonna leave you because you're not introducing me to your people. Hmm. I don't know if that feels good either. If y'all living together and y'all having a good relationship, that doesn't feel good either. They push their insecurities to become your insecurities. Because I know being DL is a bad thing in the trans community. Uh-huh. As long as he's taking you on dates or whatnot, probably doesn't mean he's DL or whatever. But family is tricky. I wish the best for you and Mara in that situation. Same. That's another element of how do y'all, that's a good conversation for the rest of the situation. Um, how do y'all define DL? Because I was with a dude who his family didn't know, but we went out in public. We went out in public. He wasn't hiding me from the world, but he was hiding me from his family. Is that DL? I think it is, but is that DL to y'all? If everybody in public knows, like, we going out, we doing our thing, there's no fear in that sense, but he doesn't want the family to know. I had a man tell me he loves me, but he was from Haiti and he would never introduce me to his family. I had to go. See, I don't have to meet the family. If everything else is right, like if we going out in public, we going out and I'm feeling good, I don't ever care about being family. That's not important to me. Only time it's important to me is if you if you I don't if you are I don't know, if you are doing all the other good shit, I don't care about your people. I don't know. If we living together and we have a whole life together, I don't care about meeting nobody people. Wait, he has kids, Amara? That's a whole different story. I think if we talk about mama and dad, but you don't even know his kids, that's kind of nah. I can't. I have to have a relationship with your kids. How? Uh, Child, I don't know. Expect more from him. Yeah, Emily, I think that's totally right. Because if we compare DL with being stealth, I'm in that kind of way. I'm in that kind of way because I'm freely I openly um talk about my transness on the internet, da 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 da. But when I'm at a job, not currently now, but I remember my past at a job, I don't tell my tea. And certain other situations, I don't tell my tea. That's no not everybody business. And so sometimes I give men space to have that kind of same personality. Like it's not everybody business. I don't need to talk about it to everybody. But I'm also old school in that way. So I think the new girls are going in a different direction. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But I'm kind of old school in that way. I don't want to talk about my transness to everybody. If we can not talk about it, but you have to be doing all the other stuff. Right. We have to be going out. We have to be in all other aspects of your life. The new girls want to be visible. And I get it. And I'm rooting for them. I want to be um I want to be loved, honey. I don't need my man to be loud. I need my y'all know who I live for. If I could find a trans amorous version of him, I would live for it. Um Jackie Ina's husband, Dennis. That nigga he ain't trying to be hog the spotlight. He ain't trying to, he be in the background. She flash him every blue moon. That's the type of nigga I like. I like a nigga that don't need the spotlight. That just want to love you. That just want to be there for you. That want to be behind the scenes helping you grow your business. That's what I like. And he got his own thing going on. That's what I like. Somebody is trying to use my DoorDash or something because I keep getting these verification code things. So somebody is trying to use my either they broke into my trying to use my account for DoorDash or something because I keep getting these DoorDash verification codes sent to me. I do got that. I should be more grateful. I don't want to say be more grateful. That's kind of but if y'all have a loving relationship how it is now, I wouldn't care about the family enough to let him handle that. I wouldn't. That's just my advice. If it's something that irks you, then you let him know. But if y'all have all the other good stuff, well, just enjoy what you got. Don't bring no extra drama in that if it don't what's the saying? Don't start none, won't be none. Bruh, I ain't never heard of a DoorDash checker. Yeah, I keep getting because I barely use DoorDash, but I keep getting you know how somebody is trying to get the I don't know, I can't explain it. They send a verification, like somebody's trying to use it, and I done got 3 in a row. So that means somebody is trying to use my email. Baby, people will steal anything. They will. But all right, y'all. I'm about to go to the movies and see um Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore in about 20 minutes. So I need to get ready. Well, not ready, but I need to head on down there. So make sure y'all thumbs up and I will talk to y'all. I'm gonna try to get on when I can't get on. Whenever the internet is cute. I think I'm gonna still be here Friday. Let's look. This is the I got three legs of this trip. I got the Paris leg, the London leg, and the Nice leg. And so the I don't yeah, I'll be in Nice. So I don't know what the internet is gonna be like in Nice. But yeah, I will see y'all. How did y'all like the interview with Tommy Ross? Did y'all like it? Sorry I couldn't be here to chat with y'all while it was going live, but I'm glad y'all watched it. Honey, the London trade is everywhere, baby. Ooh, I'm about to have some fun in London. I didn't really have that much fun in Paris because the but the Paris black trade is weird. That's weird. But the London's there's some heat out here, baby, and I'm about to get warm. But all right, y'all. Thank y'all for listening, and I will see y'all next week. Um, Next week I'm having next this Thursday coming up. It will be Ian Haddock, and then of the Normal Anomaly, he will be on the show. And yeah, we will we will chat with y'all. I will chat with y'all. Have a good night. Oh, I'm definitely hitting up Brexit. I know that's where the black food is at and black people, so I will definitely be there. But all right, I will see y'all later. Bye bye.